love making people uncomfortable. Not many things in life are more of a certainty than Sprague trying to make people feel uncomfortable every opportunity he gets.
Definitely the guy that pees right next to you in an empty bathroom.
You're the guy that walks up right next to that urinal, right there. Hey, buddy. Give you a little pat on the butt. You're the character in Along Came Polly. Alec Baldwin's character.
Rubs his ear.
Rubbing my earlobe as I'm trying to take a leak. Like, dude, I'm just trying to get ready for the show, man.
It seems like you and I have a kind of a similar takeaway in listening to Will Stein's press conference. Here is Will Stein on Dante Moore. Of course, potentially the starting quarterback for Oregon. He's battling it out with Austin Novosad right now. But he was asked about Dante Moore's growth. Here is Will Stein on Dante Moore.
The biggest growth for him is just take what the defense gives you. Like, you take what the defense gives you, they'll give you the game every single time. We've won a lot of games here with that mindset at quarterback. That doesn't mean that we don't throw to win, we don't take chances down the field, but being an extremely efficient offense is huge because we stay on the field, we keep our defense fresh, we convert first downs, score touchdowns in the red area, and then when we got our chances to take a shot and to create an explosive, that's what we do. So I think Dante is really buying into that mindset, understanding that playing quarterback at this level takes winning football every single down. It's not every other, it's not every third play. It's got to be every single down for us to be the offense that we want to be.
And he talked about, I thought this was a good question about the experience factor. He's got a lot of guys out there that don't have real experience. And he acknowledged that, and he talked about how they can get to the point where they feel more comfortable.
Best way to learn how to play football is to play football. Put the ball down, 11 on 11, fans in the stands, clock, referees, and you only get so many opportunities to do that, especially in college football where you really can't lose. I guess you can lose a game or two now to get in the playoffs, but you still really can't. We're not the NFL where you can, have a loss early in the season. So you got to really take every single day and play like a game.
I think we have the same takeaway from listening to his press conference, but let's check it out. What was your takeaway?
I mean, my takeaway is that he feels incredibly confident in the group that he has, but also understands the sense of urgency of how challenging it's going to be to get a team full of, or an offense, I should say, largely full of inexperienced guys, at least playing together or in playing time in general, ready to go and hit on all cylinders in week one. I loved his takeaway on Dante Moore, and I think it would ring true with the other quarterbacks of we have had people who have pointed at Oregon's offense at times in the last 2 years and made fun of them. Bo Nix was a check down Charlie, doesn't throw the ball down the field. Did pretty good his first year in the NFL. He was efficient. He was smart. It's one of those things of making fun of somebody for being financially responsible. Why would you make fun of that? He's taking 5-6 yard gains constantly. It's the smart play. It's the open play. It's the easy play. And they're scoring a lot of points in the process. But let's make fun of that because every throw is not a bomb 60 yards down the sideline. I love the messaging to Dante Moore of be smart, take what they give you, and we'll be able to execute at a high level. But I think he's highlighting the difficulty and the challenge that he has, that this is an inexperienced offense. I think it's an inexperienced football team. And they're trying to make sure they can do everything they can to get him ready in the next 3 weeks before game one.
Yeah, the thing about it is I think he's also going to try to put them as many easy situations as possible.
Simplify.
And I want to ask you this. I would have thought by now he got a gig, but he might just be looking around the landscape of the sport and saying, why do I need to go get a gig right now? If I'm staying at Oregon, even if our offense isn't as maybe electric as 2 years ago with Bo, or the quarterback stats fall off a little bit from what even Dylan was, why do I need to leave for a job? That more feels like I'm leaving for the sake of leaving, not just hey, I really want this gig.
I got a good gig. I'm making $1 million. He just had another kid last spring, so he's got a newborn.
He seems pretty complimentary of landing in LaPoy. He was like, hey, going against that defense is the best possible thing for us. They're as well coached as any unit I've ever seen. I wonder if this year, because he's got a new quarterback who doesn't have as much experience, and the last time we saw him, he didn't play particularly well, will Will Stein emerge as the best coordinator to hire in college football this season?
I'm going to say no on that.
Because there's going to be a lot of gigs potentially available. There's some super hot seats all over the landscape of that sport.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Solid Verbal's last pod because I knew we'd have Dan on today. And them and Pate just both kind of got into the hypotheticals of who's gone. And they're just talking about big names.
Sure.
And, if Will Stein's offense is scoring 30 or more a game, that's going to be a dude. I just was wondering, is he going to emerge as the best coordinator to hire? Not coach.
Not coach.
Coordinator.
Yeah, it's hard to say the best. I do think he will be a guy, this is, not a groundbreaking statement, that will seriously be considered for a lot of different jobs. I think he's been smart in the idea of, in this modern era of college football, you don't want to jump to a place where you don't have the resources in place in order to contend at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And just be smart about the jobs that you take. Not every job is the same. Dillingham left immediately because he was offered his dream job in his hometown at Arizona. It's like the stars lined up. And if a program similar to ASU that didn't have that pull with him, I don't know if he leaves right away after 1 year. I won't say that he will be the best because I do think their offense will go through its growing pains with a lot of new faces. By the end of the year, though, he will be in the mix for an elite coaching job. And I think it's another thing. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but when I look at coaches and their track record, there is a level of respect that comes with being a guy that helps produce good head coaches. Like, I think that's a nice feather in the cap of Dan Lanning, what Dillingham's done already at ASU. When Dillingham was hired, that was a hire that was roundly mocked and ridiculed, like across college football circles by the analytical crowd who said, this guy's never called plays, not even his own offense. He's there for 1 year, turns Bo into a elite quarterback, and then bails for ASU and has a great run to start his career there. And so I think that's a nice feather in his cap, and I think Will Stein has that ability as well to be an elite head coach. I think he's going to definitely be in the mix. I won't say he will be the top candidate, though. That would be pretty lofty after this year.
The underrated part of it, I think, is Stein being at Oregon now. What is this? This is going to be
This will be his third year.
Season.
Third year.
He now is seeing internally what it looks like to run a good program.
Yeah, dude.
He's learning from Lanning in that regard. He sees the collective. Now, look, you're not going to have Oregon donor money the way, that way anywhere else.
Right.
But like if fill in the blank gig opens and they're super hot on him.
I mean, you got Florida that might be open. You got Oklahoma that might be open. You got Auburn that might be open. Arkansas, if it tickles your fancy. Arizona could be open. Brent Pry at Virginia Tech could get fired.
Yeah, I mean, and who's retiring? Does Whittingham leave? Like, he has an ability to evaluate every possible place and say, how is it run? And if it's not close to what's happening in Eugene, wouldn't strike me at all, I guess, to just sit there and keep having great offenses and you bring Dante Moore back or Novosad or
whoever your starter is coming back for another year.
And say run it back one more time and we'll be one of the title favorites. Like
right. It's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. And you have questions about Lapoy, fair. I have questions about the offense, and I'm really curious to see what it's going to be like because I had a takeaway of, guys going to need experience, but they're going to have a month ramp up before they go to that Penn State game.
Yeah, the schedule's manageable early in the year to kind of work out some kinks, although we said the same thing last year, and they almost lost to Idaho.
It was reversed.
It
was reversed the way it went last year.